my name is Courtney James, and I am here with Gary Lohman and Patrick Cruickshank. Gary is the VP of 9 Mile Metals, and Patrick is the CEO. Hi, you guys.
Doing well, Courtney.
Hi, Courtney. It's good to see you again.
Hi. Good to see you guys too. I know it's been an incredibly busy period for both of you, and I was just hoping that you could give us a little summary of what's been going on and what's to come.
Yes, we're very excited to start sharing some of our news and some of our outcomes from all of our geophysical program this summer. We're just coming to the end of it. And of course, there's a big lag in the processing. So we're just starting to get that now. We did press release just a few days ago, the Wedge borehole analysis. And we'd like to discuss that a little bit more today in depth and show you next steps. Gary, why don't you bring up the mirror model and share the borehole analysis and targets as defined by EarthEx, our geophysical partner.
All right. Everybody sees this?
Yes.
Okay. There is the plan view of the drilling that was done during the springtime. The gold outline up here is the loop that EarthEx lays out for the borehole EM survey. These are traces of the hole, and you can see it's highlighted here with copper assays. And the results of the survey have defined various of the Maxwell plates. We've got one main plate cutting through here where we've identified mineralization in drill hole. And we've also got two very large plates further at depth. And I can rotate this so you can see them a little better. So if everybody remembers, we were drilling at the very top of the hill, and the first hole was drilled at the bottom. And the traces of the holes have intersected mineralization on this plate, but we have not touched these two larger ones that have been identified by EarthEx in the borehole EM survey. One thing I think that's important to note, and I'm going to go back to this here, the size of these plates is pretty much defined by the size of the loop. It was, I guess the basic explanation is that it's like a flashlight shining down. So parallel to here, parallel to here. So we do not know the sort of lateral extent or strike length of these plates, but it's sort of constrained by the loop itself. But you can see that it is fairly large by the scale at the bottom here. So the plans are to drill a deep hole to intersect the two plates on here that have been defined. And then we've also are going to be going to the east about 150 meters and drilling a hole sort of back into the deposit to see if we can extend the mineralization.
Yeah, if everyone can remember, our mandate was to, at the Wedge, you have the original deposit, which is west. This is the Wedge East.
Yes.
This is new extension, and now we're testing it at depth. And we're going to test it even farther east than we have drilled to date and show how big this eastern extension is our goal. Now, we still, with the rest of our geophysics, we're going to address the original wedge, which is to the west of this area, and even farther along trend for up to 3 kilometers. The wedge is a priority project for this company, but in conjunction, we are evaluating the entire western portfolio and doing all the geophysics at the same time. So we have 2 parallel programs, an exploration program and a step out on the wedge line with the east and the west and the whole clustering of targets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's keep that in the bigger regional perspective, but this right now is just the analysis from the borehole on the eastern extension.
Yeah. And I think one thing I'd like to point out too is that even on the main plate that was intersected here, there is a historic hole. Like I know these are processed and they're modeled plates, but there is a historic hole that was drilled in behind where we collared that clipped mineralization in the bottom corner of the main plate. So that it sort of validates the work that they're doing, and hopefully
Right.
we could repeat it on these two down here.
Very cool. Thank you, Gary. That is a very fun little thing to look at.
Yeah.
And I know you've been busy, you've been setting up for the phase 2 drill program. How's that been going?
The drill's been mobilized and is on site, and we're just busy out there every day. And I guess
Very cool.
And what I'd like to talk about real briefly is next steps, just let people understand what's coming in the very, very short term. Gary, do you want to share the California Lake 10 South ground-based EM grid?
Yes, just 1 second here. Oh, well,
So again, the California Lake trend, VMS trend 10 is very, very important to the company. And EarthEx had brought up a target layer from reprocessing last year, and the folded nose area of California Lake 10 is obviously their highest priority besides the wedge. And we have completed the TDEM grid there, and Gary's going to show us that imagery.
that's this grid right here. And there's our target 10. And this is, if everybody remembers correctly, this is our folded nose that we've talked about with these strong EM conductors coming down and curling back up towards 11. This is the grid that was completed. And due to the positive responses we've been getting, EarthEx has recommended that these lines here be extended out towards target 11. And that work has also been completed. So we've now got the full folded nose covered with ground-based time domain EM, which should give us some very nice targets.
Yes, and if you recall the red strong conductor
Conductors.
axis, those lines are
Yeah.
EarthEx's product. And what Gary is trying to say is on that grid that was completed, and we've already, I think, press released that, the target there, if you go to the far east boundary of that grid, Gary,
Yes.
with your
Yeah.
mouse, the target there goes right up there and it's truncated. So they
Yes.
recommended doing an extension so they can get a complete survey and give us a complete imagery of that target that they found.
Yeah, I guess in the work that they did, there was a response buildup right at the very edge. And to complete and constrain the plate modeling better, they've recommended doing the extended lines. And so that's also covered our main target here, this one here, and back into 11.
Yeah, the very nice thing is it solves two missions. One would be to finish the targeting for the grid, but also gives us a very good look at target 11 as well at the same time.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and approved that, and that has been completed. We're just waiting for the processing. Gary, you can actually show the other image too, so it explains a little bit more for folks.
Yes, just 1 second here.
Has it been nice having EarthEx out there to make things go a little smoother and faster?
Yes, it's been, here we go. You can see, like as we've mentioned, at the very east end of the grid, there's been a buildup of response like this, and you need to get the complete modeling, you need the other side of it here so they can best constrain the maximal plate modeling. But of course, we get the peak right at the edge of the grid. But it's good for us, like it gets us on target and then into target 11.
Yeah. So the target's large and it's goes all the way to the eastern boundary of that grid. And you don't know when you set these up or design them, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously very favorable. And it's such a large target there that we're looking forward to that response to come back and get
Yeah.
those targets defined.
Yeah. It was
That's
a nice
great.
surprise.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we like the nice
it's
surprises.
and folks got to remember it isn't just a matter of doing these grids on the ground and then in 24 hours you get boom, the software kicks out this target. No, it's a much
Yeah.
more integral program. It takes 2 to 4 weeks for the target definition with the algorithms and the interpretation from EarthEx and their geophysicists. It is time consuming, but obviously very qualified, and we're very excited
Yeah.
to have these quality targets. And
Yeah.
we've done, as we've released, we're also doing a ground-based grid over the West Wedge and the Tri-Bag and Target 6. So fantastic target process coming very shortly. And then the UAV drone, just to let everybody know, that has been completed, the 1,400 line kilometers, and we're awaiting processing. So if we are showing everybody these individual survey results,
Mhm.
and at the end of this, it's going to be consolidated in 3D, the whole Western portfolio, with subsurface targeting with the drone, showing the magnetics and the structural and all that with the grids on top. It's going to be very, very useful and invaluable for us for the whole Western
Definitely.
portfolio.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is growing, and it's a living model that's going to continue to evolve. But we're showing snippets along the way. So
Yeah.
we're very excited. Couldn't be happier with the results that we're getting.
And I think
That's
everybody can
great.
see that we've been extremely busy. Yeah.
Gary, is it possible to exit out of this image?
Sure. There we
Let's
go.
see. Yeah, we can see. Yeah, you can
Oh.
see the big. Yeah, no, I know it's been a very busy program for you, and I know that you have been working really hard out there. So thank you for such an awesome update on how everything's going and for those very cool visuals.
Yeah, it's nice seeing it in 3 dimensions, especially
Yeah,
once they do the modeling, then you can see where your drill holes were in the assay values and what you've hit and what you've missed. So it's a great tool to move us forward.
that's awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much, you guys. Is there anything that you would like to close with before we wrap this up?
No, all I'll say is news should be coming more frequently now. Because I mean, to minimize downtime and so on, we had a lot of these surveys running concurrently.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of a bottleneck for the processing because it takes each one takes its own time consuming window. But now we should be getting a lot more results coming in, and we'll be sharing those as fast as possible.
Oh, that's
Now
great.
that the drill rig is mobilized,
I
Yeah.
know.
gotta keep, we're gonna keep moving that onto new targets. So we're trying to process as fast as possible.
Yeah, we'll have to keep bugging you guys for these video updates then.
Okay then.
Okay, thank you so much, you guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate the update.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Courtney.
Courtney.